the topic tonight. Tonight, I'm going to show you synergy. Alexa, plug Alexa in. Somebody get a chance. Alexa, what does synergy mean?
Synergy is usually defined as the interaction of elements that when combined produce a total effect that is greater than the sum of the individual elements, contributions, etc.
Exactly. Alexa, stop. Synergy is when things all combine for the same. Alexa, stop. Is when different things, different elements combine and they join together for the same purpose. That's what synergy is, all right? And today I'm going to show you the synergy between the Ja Morant story, the white woman who attempted to get a black man murdered, attempted to get a black man unalived in New York. This woman worked for Bellevue Hospital. Everyone has seen the video, correct? The woman this week, she showed the video real fast, all right, just to make sure they've seen it. Everyone has seen it or not? Raise your hand if you don't know what I'm talking about this white woman. All right, play it quickly, all right? This week, this story, I'm going to show you the synergy between the story of the white woman who tried to unalive a black man. I'm going to show you the relationship, the synergy between that, between Ja Morant, and the synergy between the brother who was murdered in New York who was strangled to death. I'm going to show you the synergy between those things and the synergy with Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the #1 movie in America this week. All these things are combined. They all work together for the same purpose. The Ja Morant story, the white woman who tried to get a black man killed who worked at Bellevue Hospital, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the brother who was strangled in New York. These stories are the same. They all work together for one purpose. Everyone understands, all right? Let's start with showing the video if you have it, all right? Go ahead. I did not send you this. I think I assumed everyone already saw this. You can't miss it. No, but I did not send it to you. Do I need to play the Ja Morant story? I'll tell you about that just in case. This is the second time Ja Morant did this, and Ja Morant had some other incidents. Ja Morant was in a car listening to rap music with his friends. One of his friends went live, and Ja Morant quickly pulled out a gun on the live. Now, this is the second time this happened. Ja Morant lost, I think he's set to lose. They're telling him he's going to lose like $39 million because he's getting suspended for so many games, and he's losing endorsement deals, which could, of course, equal about $39 million. And so all over social media today, Stephen A. Smith, forget about it. He loves talking about topics like this. Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, everyone who we listen to is, of course, saying, I don't forgive Ja Morant. I'm not forgiving him. This is a terrible thing that he did. He should be suspended from the NBA because he owns a gun, I guess. So now, come on. He owns a firearm. And of course, if you show proof that you own a firearm, it's evil. It's like an evil, wicked thing to do. I would assume that's the result. Someone break the story down for me if I'm missing something. I don't know much about things that happen outside the Bible. Break it down.
Ja Morant.
Please.
Okay, this is Ja Morant's, I want to say third or fourth incident. He had a business before. He got me running around with the people he running around with. The NBA fined him, suspended him, sent him to some type of sensitivity classes or whatever, sir. All for Ja Morant and all type of media coverage that Brett Favre did.
Ton. A lot of how many arrests? No arrests. So I'm assuming these things were morally wrong, right? There's no arrest. So I guess this is like some evil. If it's not illegal, then it just must be evil morally, evil in the heart, because he hasn't gotten an arrest for anything, not for one thing. So without an arrest, let's just assume Ja Morant is morally corrupt and evil. clearly he's not doing anything illegal because he has no arrest at all. All right. Let me show you the synergy between that and this. Go ahead. Read what's on the screen when you get a chance.
This lady tried her best to weaponize her tears, but then she realized it wasn't going to work. She switched it off and acted like nothing happened.
This white woman, somehow they got these bikes that you can order on your phone. The brother ordered a bike on his phone. A white woman went to jump on that same bike after he had already ordered it. She said, "Get off the bike." He said, "No, I ordered this bike on my phone." And this is what happened. Go ahead. Look.
You're not lying. You're not lying. That's stupid. That's what Wait, you put it out. That's all. You put it out. That's all. That's all. You put it out.
Stop. Then she began to she bent her head down and began to cry, to summon up a fake cry. It's been 60 years since Emmett Till. This is how Emmett Till got killed, like this. This happened last week. This is how he got murdered. Because a white woman, this is how he was unalived. Because a white woman because her reputation is that she is helpless and beautiful and lovely and to be treasured and protected. And your reputation is that you are an animal. And when she begins to cry, even when you have done nothing wrong, you are about to be murdered. You are about to be unalived. There are countless unalived pictures on this wall that all of them came from a white woman who screamed, who yelled, who cried. What you might not understand is when a white woman cries or yells, your battle is with your reputation against hers. And you lose every time. You lose that reputation. And you lose so much that you yourself begin to hate your own reputation and you begin to believe the lies that they say about you. It's internalized racism. Alexa, what is internalized racism?
Internalized racism is a form of internalized oppression, defined by sociologist Karen D. Pike as the internalization of racial oppression by the racially subordinated. In her study,
stop. This is Alexa. Stop. Study. This sister did all these studies on this. Got a doctorate in internalized racism. But when you see this, you know clearly that this white woman is wrong, right? She's screaming. She's crying. The brother's doing nothing to her, but she's using her reputation as being a delicate, in need of protection white woman, and his reputation for being an animal, and she's using that to get him killed. She wants someone to come and shoot him. Give me another one. Did I show you the one? Give me the other one. Give me the one with the cop when the brother was in the car and the cop said he has a gun. Did I send you that? Let me get this one. Let me give you, all these things are connected. I'm going to show you the connect. This is connected to the Ja Morant story, this right here, and Guardians of the Galaxy, and the brother that got murdered on the train. This is the one where a cop, this happened this week as well. A cop pulled over a brother, and the brother had his hands out the window. I absolutely send this one to you. It's coming to me now. And the cop just screamed, "He has a gun." The brother had no gun. His hands are on the camera. And then the cop said, "Give me your wallet." He said, "I'm not getting my wallet because you're trying to murder me. So I'm not getting my wallet. I'm not moving my hands because you're trying to shoot me." And the cop is just on the camera screaming. But because he has a camera, of course, you can be a witness to what happened to this brother. Do you have it?
Was it the one where it said why police officers yelled?
Yes, that's the one. Play that.
quick question from brother online.
Go ahead.
I wanted to know why, like, who started the no sweat saying, sir? No, we all say no sweat. He wants to know who started it.
I do not know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's so old. It's, you know. I don't know who started saying no sweat. All right, go ahead.
So pause on that.
PSA to the PSA. Remember, we heard police officers yell, gun! There's no gun. And all of a sudden, everybody's going to We've also had a police officer tell indisputable cop will say certain things just to get it on record, such as gun, to justify shooting. Or they sometimes
Fast forward just down
stop resisting
to the video.
to justify charging you with obstruction and
Unless it's coming right now.
Force.
Right there. Go ahead. If you can get to the beginning of the video, that'd be good. Go ahead.
Can you tell me what I did wrong?
Okay. Shut your car.
What I did wrong?
Shut your car.
Shoot.
Shut your car.
Shoot.
Shut your car.
What?
What? Shut your car.
What? My hand in the air.
Shut your car. Shut.
Nah, I ain't right. Hey, come shut the car off. I ain't moving my hand. He trying to shoot. He trying to shoot.
Shut your car.
Nah, I ain't moving. No, my hand in the air.
Shut your car.
My hand in the air.
Pause. Stop. This cop screams, he has a gun. He has a gun. The brother has no gun. The brother was later interviewed and he said that if he shut that car off, if he moved his hands to turn that ignition key, he knows he would have been shot. And the only thing that saved his life is that he did not move his hands. He said if he moved his hands, you'd be doing a story about how he got shot by the cops. He knew he could not move his hands at all to turn that key off because the cop yelled he had a gun and it scared the brother. Let me ask you a question. Is it illegal to have a gun in your car? Alexa, is it illegal to have a gun in your car?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, yes.
Alexa, is it illegal for a non-felon to have a gun, to carry a gun in their car?
From answerpale.com. But as long as you're not a felon and are at least 21 years of age or older, you can legally carry the loaded gun in your car.
Yeah, I had to reword it for her to help her out. Akim, do you know when the cops yells he has a gun, it's legal to have a gun in your car. It's legal. Having a gun does not give them the right to kill you. But I know you don't know that. He didn't know that. I know in your head, you think if I have a gun, then a cop has the right to unalive me. Because that is internalized racism of yourself. You can have a gun in your car. Brother, he lives in the South. Everyone has a gun in their car in the South. Everyone. They all have guns. There's shotguns in every trunk of every car, in every pickup truck, and everyone carries a gun, period. If you are a felon in a lot of southern cities, you can open carry a gun. If in Arizona, you can open carry a gun. You don't have to hide it, ever. But in your mind, you're not allowed to have a gun in your car. And then when the cop yells gun, that gives him license to kill you. When having a gun is completely legal to everyone in America. In your head, it's not. In your mind, it's, oh, I'm subject to being shot now because I have a gun. Alexa, how many people in America own guns?
Here is what I found. From FACO.com, about 80 million Americans, representing 50%.
I think you heard that number, right? Alexa,
own
stop.
200
80 million Americans own guns. But when a cop yells, he has a gun, it's like he said, you have a grenade or a bomb or a dead body in the trunk. 80 million people have guns. But I know in your mind, you're not allowed to have one. Adolf Hitler talked about that. That's in your head. And that's in the head of the police. That's in the head of everyone. Let me tell you what happened in New York. This story is the same story as John Morant. This story is the same story as the white woman that tried to steal that bike from that brother. This story is the same story as the brother that got murdered in New York. Let me tell you about that story. You have the video I gave you for that? Put that up on the screen. This is like 2 weeks ago or last week in New York. There was a homeless man, a Michael Jackson impersonator. He was on the train doing something that seemed irrational to a white man on that train. Something, maybe yelling at people, doing something. The white man felt it necessary to jump up and to choke him, to strangle him. He strangled him for 15 minutes. On the video, people are coming over to him saying, you should let him go. You're going to kill him. You're going to get a murder. You're going to get an unalive charge. You should let him go. He just kept choking him up with a blank look in his green. So everything he does is right. It's not like people that were in Esau's military ever shoot up the mall or unalive everyone in a bank, right? Which they do daily, all the time. People who have been in Esau's military are the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They're the Proud Boys. They're the mass shooters. But this one, of course, he's the it might just be words. You can read it.
The right, it's like if the right has raised millions for this guy who choked a homeless man to death.
The brother who was murdered, he has a GoFundMe page. For his funeral, they raised $100,000, which is, kind. For the defense fund for this man who strangled him, they raised $2 million. $2 million. The governor of Florida says he's a good Samaritan. He's a hero. Is this video or is this just images? That not. It's two. They raised $2 million. The brother who was dancing Michael Jackson dance. They raised $2 million.
Hungry and thirsty. Witnesses told local media. Penny is charged with manslaughter in Neely's death. From the beginning, conservative politicians have praised Penny. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene called Neely a violent criminal who should have been behind bars in a tweet that Elon Musk also liked. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis also called Penny a good Samaritan. Just as they did with Kyle Brennan.
Stop. He's a good Samaritan. They have $2 million for his defense fund, which means he's beating that case. That's what that means. That's what $2 million means when you go into a city case. You're beating that case. All right. And $100,000 to the victim means even black people don't care about that victim. When you watch this video, there's two black or Latino people holding the arms of the brother who was getting strangled. Why? Because we look at ourselves like we're animals. We think we're animals. We believe the propaganda about us. If any of you thought that John Morant was crazy for holding that gun, you're racist against yourself. And this is why Colin Kaepernick's movement went to nothing. Because yes, the NBA says you can't show a gun online. That's what they say. You know what else you're not supposed to do, right? Kneel at a football game. You're not supposed to kneel. You're not you. Colin Kaepernick lost his job because he dared to do something that every other American feels they have the right to do. He did it and lost his job. You kept watching football. And if you think that this brother can't show a gun, why in the hell can't he show a gun? If the NBA had any cojones, every NBA player would show a gun on Instagram. Every last one. They should show a gun. Otherwise, what in the hell are you doing in America? With 80 million people have guns. What is the NRA? Look, type this in your phone with anybody. The NRA shows support for Ja Morant. Type that in your phone. Show me what comes up. Anyone can. You know what the NRA is, right? The National Rifle Association. Oh, they fight for gun rights. Give me that one. Give me the video I sent you about athletes who support the Second Amendment. Show me that. Someone look up and show me the support that the NRA, the National Rifle Association, is showing Ja Morant for being a legal gun owner in the South, having a gun and showing it and not hiding it as if it's a dead body or cocaine. Anyone have anything? Anyone like it? Just tell me just type it in. Tell me what you find. Raise your hand if you've typed it in your phone. All right, what'd you see?
Concert, not much, but it's from Reddit. Will Republicans and NRA back Ja Morant?
Will they back Ja Morant? Yeah, because there is no backing for Ja Morant by the NRA. Because the NRA supports white people having guns, not black people. Black people have not been able to have guns, brother, since this country was founded. They've never been able to have guns. Never. The entire Second Amendment started so that white people could keep the slave patrol and to not have to give up their slave patrol as a militia to help defend the country from the British. They didn't want to send their militia to go fight the British because they knew that their militia was the only thing stopping their slaves from revolting and taking over. That's that. So they wanted to keep a standing militia at all times. They didn't want to give their militia over to the federal government to fight the British. Then there would be no slave patrol because a state's militia was the slave patrol. That was it. What did the militia do all day when they weren't fighting a war? They patrolled the roads to make sure that no slaves ever escaped, and they went to plantations to make sure slaves never revolted. And because of that, they had to have the Second Amendment so that every citizen could have a militia, every state could have a militia, so that they could always have people to stop slaves from revolting. And that is where the Second Amendment came from. So the Second Amendment is not about black people just doing what anybody else from the South could do, what any other man could do. It's not about that. I'll show you. Give me athletes. You have that? Go ahead.
Big time athletes who are also big time hunters.
Now, this is, you can just look this up. Big time athletes who are also big time hunters. Go ahead.
Oh God, Jared Allen.
Oh, Jared Allen, he loves to hunt. You can find pictures of him with giant guns, killing big old deer and moose all over the internet. Keep going.
Chipper Jones.
Keep going.
Shawn Michaels.
Keep going. Skip that. This is tons of names. Skip down to the paragraphs.
Athletes who hunt helps promote our Second Amendment rights. As with sports, hunting is a large part of the fabric of our culture.
This is put out by the NRA. The NRA is saying we want athletes to go hunt because them hunting shows support for the Second Amendment. So they want athletes to hunt. Keep going.
While many athletes tend to shy away from social issues, the gun issue is at the forefront of political debate right now. And athletes can influence people who have never even thought of going on an expedition for our country.
They're saying that they want athletes to start hunting so that they can become advocates for the Second Amendment because their people listen to them. So they want you to have guns. If you're an athlete, you die.
If I could, sir, I'll read two of these names on here.
Yeah.
Some of the notable athletes who are avid hunters are Karl Malone. Karl Malone was 20 years old when he molested a 13-year-old and she had it shot.
Yeah, he was, but that's fine. Keep going.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre, who stole all that money from Mississippi. Brett Favre. Keep going.
Colin
from poor people in Mississippi. Go ahead.
Brian Urlacher.
Keep going.
Bobby
Another.
Knight, Justin Tuck, Barry Larkin.
Here's the point that we're trying to make. The NRA wants athletes to have guns. They released this. They want athletes to have guns. So what in the hell did Ja Morant do that's so evil? Ja Morant made the mistake that Colin Kaepernick made. He forgot. This is what the kids taught me, Adiah. It's okay when they do it. That's what they told me. It's okay when them devils do it. But when we do it, it's a problem. Why can they have I'm headed up. Why can they have guns? Why can every athlete, the NRA, have guns? Why can't he show a gun? You know who else can have a gun? Let me show you. Groot. Who saw Guardians of the Galaxy? Raise your hand if you love Guardians of the Galaxy. Give Guardians of the Galaxy a hand. I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was a wonderful film. Guardians of the Galaxy. Show me Groot here for a second. All right. This is the #1 movie in America. And show me Rocket the Raccoon. Show me Rocket the Raccoon. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was an action-packed movie. The #1 movie in America. So action-packed, they made a toy about Groot based on a scene in the movie. The brother will show you the toy real fast, then I'll go upstairs, all right? Let me show you this. Y'all see that, Akim? You know who else can have a gun? Groot. Groot can have a gun. This is from, how many guns is that Groot has? Count the guns off. 3, 4, I'm missing 3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sir.
Groot has 9 guns. 9. You know what this is? This is a children's toy. This is a toy based on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for kids. 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 5-year-old kids. Why can Groot have a gun and Ja Morant can't have a gun? Groot can have an effing gun? Groot. He can have a gun. Nobody's scared. You don't want to arrest Groot, do you? Cops, you don't want to shoot Groot. You're fine with this. You don't want to kill Groot. This is what they market to children. You know what the problem with Ja Morant is? Ja Morant has the nerve to think he's a young kid in America because young children go to see Guardians of the Galaxy. They watch the movie. They go to see movies. They play video games. They like to kill zombies. America teaches you to love guns, and then when you pick one up, a cop kills you. That is the synergy between Guardians of the Galaxy, the white woman that lied and cried to get sympathy so this man could be murdered, the brother that was strangled in that subway. As every white person puts themselves in the white man's shoes that strangled that brother in New York, they want the right to kill you. You're an animal. They want the right to unalive you because you're an animal. So they're going to give him $2 million so that they can maintain their right to strangle you if they choose to, because you're an animal. Now, here's the problem with Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley and Shannon Sharp. They think you're an animal too. They think that you are some villain and you're not allowed to have the basic same rights that Groot has. Groot can do this. Groot is not a threat. Show me the Rocket the Raccoon. You're a terrible threat. And if you can teach children to shoot guns, why can't Ja Morant be a young boy? He's a kid. He's young. Kids like toys. Kids like guns. Why do kids like guns? You're the reason kids like guns. Your video games and your Groot and your Captain America and your Top Gun. You're the reason that kids fantasize about holding guns, because America teaches young men to be in love with guns. And then 80 million people buy them. You know who else buys guns? Women. Go into a gun shop and look at all the pink guns in there. You go into a gun shop, the whole chest is full of pink guns. And I always look and I go, damn, she seems like she can have one. They're making them pink so that every broad can buy a damn gun. Clearly, this is not illegal. Clearly, this is normal and legal to have. You're making them in pink so women can have them. Why is John Morant so wicked and so evil? Look, that's Riley. Look at that gun he has. Good Lord, he's screaming and yelling. You got the video? Oh, listen, that's him. That's Johnny Rocket. What's his name? Rocket the Raccoon. Look at that thing he has. Maybe John Morant just saw Guardians of the Galaxy that day. He came out and got in the car. He wanted to blast it up like Rocket Johnny. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. Maybe he's a kid. Maybe he got off playing the video games that you're selling everybody, the video games. Why is this man evil for doing what you do? Why is he so wicked? That's normal. What I want to know is, how do you as black people think John Morant is wrong? What did he do that was wrong? And if you think he was wrong, then maybe that cop will think you're wrong. Maybe when that policeman pulls you over, maybe when you get murdered by a cop, you might think, I should not think that black men are wrong simply for doing what everyone else has the right to do. Because maybe they'll use that to kill me. Every NBA star, every NFL player is supposed to go on Instagram and show a gun. Every last one, like they were supposed to do with Colin Kaepernick. That was against the rules of the NFL. The NFL said they're not allowed to kneel. What happened? They all kneeled, because if they didn't, they would not be free. They would not be real American citizens anymore. And you better start acting like you have some goddamn rights. Adolf Hitler said this. I don't have time to pull it up, but the brother has it. Adolf Hitler was interviewed by this black journalist in 1939 from Mississippi. And he went over to Germany. He spoke better German than most of the white people who came from other countries. And because of that, Adolf Hitler was so impressed by him, because he spoke German so well. And Adolf Hitler met with him and interviewed him. He interviewed Adolf Hitler. And Adolf Hitler said, I don't hate the blacks. I pity them, because they're treated so poorly over in America and they never do anything about it. Surely you must believe that black people are meant to be under some race of people. Surely they're meant to be slaves. Look at how they behave when they're oppressed. I don't hate them. I pity the poor devils. That's a quote by Adolf Hitler. You can't behave as if you are the thing that people say you are. You're going to have to act like you are a man and you have rights and that you can stand up for them, or else the propaganda about you will become true. It'll become true. It'll be, yes, I'm black, which means I ain't supposed to have no gun. Only every other person in the South is allowed to have a gun. Every other living flesh in this, it's Southern culture to have a gun. It's their culture. And if you don't act like you have the right to live on this planet and to breathe free air, then who else will believe you do? John Morant did nothing wrong. If he was wrong, then so was Colin Kaepernick. Some provision in some contract should not take away your God-given rights as an American citizen. That's why Colin Kaepernick took that knee. And everyone should support his right to show that gun, because it's legal. It's okay when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. Everyone understands. With that, pass the class over to the officer.